we on? We're on. We're on. Okay. I'll call the meeting to order, and it is 5:41, and I see we have a quorum. Commissioners, Clerk Ms. O'Connor is absent. I think she may be late, and Commissioner Cornapple is excused. So we'll call the meeting order, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
You're closer to the mic, and your mic's not on. There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry. We'll start again. We'll call to order the meeting of the Fire Commission. It's 5:42, and I see we have a quorum. Myself and Chief Beaudry and Commissioners Kovalak and Kelsey are here. Commissioner Corneffel is excused, and I believe Clerk O'Connor probably will be a little bit late, but we have a quorum, so we can start, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have an agenda before you. Are there any additions or deletions?
motion to approve is presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to the minutes. I just have one. I think I caught a typo somewhere. It's not a big deal, but Kevin, go down to where it says public comment. See the last line there where it says like? Should be liked. I think that's the only change. Any other corrections or anything?
Make a motion to approve as amended.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll move on now to the expense report. Rusty?
You have your expense reports in front of you. Everything's in line for where we should be at this time of year. Uniforms, as you look, we're at 161%. That's normal. We kind of tried to cut things back last March to make the budget work. But as you know, the men are required to have something on that designates them as a firefighter when we take a patient to the hospital. You can see that I'm wearing something that has the fire department insignia on it. And it makes it a little easier for the hospital staff to recognize our members. So we do try to get uniforms. We try to get things for the men throughout the year. I would like to get a few more things for the men. I would like to see them maybe insignias on their coats, something so that when we do take a patient to the hospital, we look professional. And we want to remain professional for the citizens as well. On the next page, again, we've got maintenance special equipment. That's running up a little high. That's just normal. That's making repairs to the equipment that we have, keeping everything in working order. Education and training, that's 196%. Again, that's a good thing. The more our members are trained, the higher their education, the better we serve the citizens of the township of Groseal. We want educated members. That's on page 2. And it's under fire operations. Education and training.
1,500 was the budget.
Yes, it's not a great deal.
$2,950.75.
Okay, so it's not I agree with you, Rusty. That's important.
we would like to increase our training budget. Again, it's every dollar spent on training just comes back to help the citizens of Groseal. It's a darn good investment. I'm looking at page. Everything else looks in order, as it should be.
Questions by any of the commissioners?
No. So moved.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to the discussion items. Rusty, why don't you just go right?
I've got a list of items to discuss. Our carports, the carports themselves are up. We finally got all of the metal structures up. We have some concrete work that is left to be finished to complete the project. This has been a 2-year project, as you know. And unfortunately, the contractor wants to pour concrete, but they can't get concrete trucks across the free bridge until the free bridge has been rated. And we're waiting on the county for that. So the contractor did call me earlier this week, said he talked to the cement truck companies, and they cannot bring a truck across until that bridge is rated by the county. So we're fighting that timeline with the cold weather, and that'll be the last thing to finish. So we're very happy about that. The equipment, we talked about it in November. All the B foam, which is the foam that has the PFAS, has finally been abated. It took several weeks and several different trips, but we finally got it all off the trucks, out of the trucks, into the containers, and out of the fire department. We still have Type A foam, which is foam that's used on structures. Type A foam does not contain PFAS, and that foam is still okay to use. Our air bank, the tanks need to be hydroed on that. We have that air bank serviced once a year and certified. And our last time they were out, they said it's time to have the tanks hydroed or certified. We're working to get that done. That has not been an easy task. I've been tracking people down for the last 3 months trying to find a company that'll do that. The outboards for the rescue boats have all been serviced. That's once every 5 years. We take them to Lockman's, and we make sure they're serviced up and ready to run in case we have to. We need those to rescue somebody through the ice or through the water. Our ladder truck, our suspension got fixed on that. That was a big fix. Our suspension had fatigued over the years, and that was over the rear dual axles. That one, that cost us about $8,700. But once that suspension was fixed on that ladder truck, the suspension itself was good for probably, that truck's 20-some years old. So we got our money out of that suspension. Ice water rescue equipment, again, we've been keeping up on that, buying different things for the guys, throw bags, things that are disposable, get used up. These are things that are perishable and just get used up over time. As well as we have a hot water tank in the bay, and that let go last month in November. I think it was late November, and we had to replace that. So that's taken care of. Next item is the chief's report.
Questions on any of this?
No.
Next item is the chief report. We got our final numbers in this year, and we're at 817 rescues total, rescues and fires. We are up, we had a 22% increase over last year. Each year the numbers go up more and more, and this year was no different. The 22% increase was quite an increase. We had a house fire on Christmas Eve. All the occupants were out, thank God. The owner of the home was there as we pulled up. He helped us out quite a bit into showing us, where we could get to the fire at. He gave us some good help and got his cars out of the driveway, moved some stuff out of the way so we could get to some windows. Kudos to him. He helped out quite a bit. We fought that fire for several hours. It took us quite a while. And it takes several more hours when we get back to the station to clean the trucks up, load the hose back on, fold it all up, put everything back in place, fill the air tanks, put those back in place, and get the truck ready for the next fire. As we were in the process of putting the trucks back together, we got a call out for mutual aid from Trenton for a car in the water. We activated the dive team, and we responded to that call. Christmas night, we got home roughly around 1 o'clock. It was a long night, and I think the fire started around 4 or 5. So on Christmas Day. So it was a long day. It was a hard day. Being in the hot fire, sweating, and then transitioning from there to the riverfront to where the car was, and the cold wind blowing across the water, and standing out there for a couple hours while the dive team had to go recover the vehicle. It was a long night and a cold night.
Right, Rusty, I know you and I have talked about this, but for the benefit of the other commissioners, you might just summarize the cause of that fire on record, because it had some similarities to the fire on St. James. And for the benefit of anybody who's watching this, it might be some good advice.
The cause of the fire that we can tell from now was that there was a battery being charged on a charger in the basement. Anytime you charge a battery, you risk the chance of that battery overheating, and any battery that's in a charger should not be left unattended, or you should not leave the home. I know there's reports right now with DeWalt batteries. I was talking to some of the chiefs, and they've heard that in some incidences across the country, people are leaving their DeWalt battery for their tools in the charger, left the home, left overnight, and the battery overheated and possibly caused a fire. So anytime you have any battery in any charger whatsoever, always keep your eye on it. Do not leave, and do not leave it unattended for a long period of time. You got to remember, those could be a potential source for a fire someday.
On the rescue runs, for the most part, it looked like some of the normal stuff, but I saw that there were 2 cardiac arrests. Were we able to get there in time to save either one, or was it too far gone?
One of the cardiac arrests, we did not know how long he was down for, and we did use the Lucas machine. We took him, we intubated, we continued the compressions with the Lucas machine to the hospital, but the human brain can only go 5 to 8 minutes without oxygen, and we had no idea of how long he was down before our arrival. This gentleman was in bed sleeping. His wife woke up and noticed that he was not breathing, so he could have been down for any number of time before we got there. We continue to work him. We don't know. That's why we applied the Lucas machine. We go through all the steps, and we take him to the hospital, and the hospital makes the determination from there. He did pass, yes.
What about the other one?
One is the second one.
Whitehall.
Both passed, I'm sorry, yes. The gentleman on Whitehall was a friend, relatively young man. He was in his late 50s. And we don't know how long he was down for, but a real good person, real good man. We got there. Again, we had to extricate him out of the basement. We had to continue with compressions. And we intubated. We took him to the hospital. And unfortunately, he had just been down too long before we got there to let the compressions work.
Was this someone, a family member that discovered it?
Yes. Yes. Good man. Very good man.
One on West River Road.
Mm-hmm.
On the 27th.
There was another one. That's the second one. That's the one that was sleeping.
So you had 3 that passed.
Oh, okay. Where's
Well, you got the one on December 11th, the cardiac arrest. And you have the one on the 5th on Whitehall, and then there's one on the next page, 1227 West River Road, obvious death.
1227 was yeah, that's a different one. That was we got there, and I think rigor mortis had already set in. That's the one on 1227 on West River. Yeah, at that point in time, it takes roughly, I think, 6 hours for rigor mortis to set in. There's nothing you can do.
On your report?
No, as you can see from the report, our guys are busy.
Yeah.
There's no rest. They're running, we run around the clock. New Year's Day, we were up at 5 o'clock in the morning for a rescue. And it just, it's no slowdown. It's not slowing down at all. We get busier every year.
What's this budget item?
I think that was our original budget that we were talking about that we looked at.
Okay, so you have nothing more in your report?
Nothing more, Jerry.
There are no action items, and I don't think we have any members of the public present, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else.
So moved.
Favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank
The
you
next
very much.
meeting.
The next meeting should be the second Thursday in February.
Date.
Hold on, I can tell you.
That's 6, isn't it? The 6th?
February 10th.
February 10th? At what time? That's Thursday, right?
Yeah, 6
Thursday,
o'clock.
the second Thursday, February 10th at 6.
For everybody? All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Motion's adjourned.
Gentlemen.